I'm Steven.
I'm Noah, and we're two members of the Airborne Toxic event.
You guys are on the last leg of your American tour, right?
Yeah, you could call it that.
Basically.
We're just in the middle of like a massive tour.
Yeah, because you guys are going overseas soon, right? Too?
Yeah,
and
first week
November
of November.
4th.
Yeah.
This tour ends November 3rd, and November 4th we fly to Europe. So
Yeah.
it's just a continuation.
Right. And your last show's at like the Walt Disney Center in.
Oh, that's in December.
In
December.
December.
That's
Yeah.
after we get back. That's a couple days after we get back from Europe.
Yeah.
Turn off your phone.
That's okay. That's okay. So sometime around midnight is like kind of like perfect breakup song, and the whole album is kind of breakup related. So what do you think is better for musical like influence? Love gained or love lost?
Oh, love lost for
Lost.
sure.
Yeah,
It's like what's try and think of like a really great song where he like successfully gets the girl that's not Aerosmith.
It's really true.
What about what it is? There's a line in Almost Famous where Philip Seymour Hoffman is like, you know, because because you're not cool.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you're a loser. Yeah, and all the great art comes from the losers or from people who aren't cool.
Yeah.
That I think that speaks to that.
Pain of the artist.
Yeah.
And so you guys were, as an unsigned band, you guys had your single and regular radio rotation. What was that like?
Well, we not only didn't have a label, we didn't have a manager,
Right,
we didn't have
nothing.
anything that bands usually have when they get on the radio. And so Mikkel actually got a call on his cell phone while we were at a sound check for a show, just at the regular club that we played about 1 million times called Spaceland, like in LA. And he just got a call and we were like, "What the fuck does this mean?" Oh, can I swear?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, and he was just like, we were like, "What the fuck is this movie?" I have no idea. And then in the next like month or two, we met pretty much every single person in the music business.
Yeah, we realized what it meant. I mean, like we had been on local. We had, we knew we had gotten played on like local shows and stuff, and then we knew it was a big deal, but we didn't know who out there is listening or paying attention. And evidently, everyone was. I mean, it was just like.
Yeah.
For the next, we had all these lunches with everyone you could think of in the music industry,
It's
and
crazy.
we just had a crash course because automatically we were like, all right, what do we need to know going into these meetings? Because you don't know. We were just we were doing great in LA, but we were at just a local band.
Yeah, that's amazing. When sometime around night really doesn't have like a classic hook, was that ever like a concern when you guys were releasing it as a single? Because it's like kind of unique that way compared to a lot of singles people usually.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't usually we never really thought like super hook oriented like
Yeah.
that, and that's like more people who work for record companies think like that, like A&R people, and a lot of the time when he's talking about going out to lunch with all these people, right when the song got on the radio, we would meet with people who would literally be like, "Well, yeah, maybe you should add a chorus to that because
Really?
you'll never get a song on the radio that just doesn't have a chorus." And we're like, "The whole fucking reason we're talking to you is because we have a song that's on the
Yeah.
radio." And so it was just like the record industry is in so much flux, and like
Yeah.
people want like a golden fix for something. They can't, and especially when like a song like that comes out that has no traditional hook and doesn't have a chorus. Like there's a lot of sort of dogma that goes into it to try and make sense of why this is responding to people. But it's like, it's a good song and people like it. Like that's where it ends.
Exactly.
There's no reason to try and go deeper into like, oh well, maybe they have the new formula for how pop music should be written.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not formulaic at all. And it's also kind of like a crossover hit in so many ways because, especially for a rock song, it's like right now, rock is one of those things that really gets like, fit into like little categories.
Right.
So what do you think it is about like music that makes it kind of go to broader audiences?
Well, everyone's broken up with someone, right? So
Yeah.
everyone's maybe had a few too many and stumbled down the street. I think that people kind of can celebrate the fact that everyone's gone through this common experience because it's funny. It's this this heart-rending, gut-wrenching song, and then everyone's screaming, they love it at the shows, and so it's just funny. And then you have to ask yourself, why is it? It's a horrible. It's a song about a horrible night, and I think it's a celebration where everyone's like, we've all felt shitty, we've all been there, and it's cathartic. So I think that hopefully can transcend whatever genres you you want to like put on onto a song.
Right, no, definitely. And your live shows are like so full of energy. I saw you guys this summer at Best Musical.
Oh yeah, you were at that shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
remember
a
me?
really fun one.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You were
which
center right.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
exactly.
Yeah. That was
Of
the one where we
course.
did the Journey song with the Raven.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a really good show. But what do you guys think makes for a good live show? Like when you go to a show?
You can really tell. Sorry, you can really tell when a band is it like really means it and is really into what they're doing. And there's like, for all of us personally, there's nothing worse than going to a show and just seeing like a couple dudes. It's like, man, I'm too cool even to be in my own band. I'm too cool for this. So it's like it's a boring show to watch that way. I mean, there can still be great songs, but it's just, you know, you want to have a live experience. You want to have a show that is happening to the audience, not just like we're not just up there doing some song and dance. It's like the more everybody in the room is involved, the more like frantic it gets, and people, you know, just feed off each other's energy. So
something has to happen, you know, like there has to be something unhinged about this show, I think, because if maybe rock and roll is about like the unpredictability, like the fact that there could be, you know, there could be some danger, you know, you don't know what's going to happen, and hopefully, like, I think that's one of the things that I know that I always enjoy when I go to a show, when it's just like you don't know what's going to happen next, you know, but something is happening, you know, there's definitely something happening. So as long as something happens at a show and people aren't just like going through the motions, then I think that I always have a good time at those kinds of shows.
And what's the craziest thing you guys have seen while touring?
we went to NASA like 2 weeks ago, and we went on the the shuttle like training, like a simulated launch, and it was on this hydraulic thing, and we literally like strapped into the seats.
God.
It's the literal mock-up of what the astronauts like train in. It's exactly like the space shuttle, and we get to flip all the switches and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not for
That's
tourists. And Noah has a relative that works for NASA. She's in charge of some real stuff at NASA. Like,
Yeah, we got to go to
Shuttle
old mission control, and we
Yeah.
were like pushing all the buttons and like spinning on the chairs.
and
and
behind the
this tour
glass
group
with this
came
tour
in.
group, and they were just like,
They were like, where are
like
these?
we were like dressed in, you know, like whatever clothes, and they were like, what are these? They were like ruining their tour. But that was pretty amazing to be on a.
We saw a bear in Canada.
We saw that was a while ago.
We took a helicopter.
We took a helicopter ride in Canada.
Oh my god.
We went to the restaurant where they filmed Kill Bill in Tokyo.
Tokyo. Lots of good stuff
That's
happened
awesome.
on
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah, you guys have to be astronauts. It's like the dream of
Yeah.
everybody.
It was pretty sweet.
Well, actually, not when you see where they have to.
Yeah.
It's like literally
The
the
real
quarters
dream.
are half the size of this room.
Yeah, 7 people
Seven
live in
people,
an
half
area
the size
smaller
of-
than this room
yeah.
for
2
however
weeks,
however long they do it, and to train for it, they like literally stay in there.
So you have
for
to do,
2
you have to do a
solid weeks.
simulation
Torture.
2 weeks in there in the simulator. Yeah.